No, not actually, but whenever she drops, no one else drops an album.
Yeah, probably because they don't want to be associated with that demonic person.
Drake said that's the only person he'll time his album drop around.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, that's actually nuts.
yeah.
The Swifties are really that powerful.
He said Taylor Swift the only one that'll make me change my album date.
Dang. Taylor's really like that, huh?
Yeah, she's a fucking billionaire.
Damn. I've heard some crazy stories about her. You ever hear the story about how she bullied that guy into giving back her music rights?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, she's a savage.
Yeah, you don't become a billionaire in this country without being a fucking savage.
Exactly. Especially as a woe man. But
Yeah, you can't play about your money.
no. Is this we should be
You're a
good.
billionaire.
Yeah, I'm a billionaire. I'm a fucking savage.
Pre-bill.
Yeah, I'm just pre-billionaire. That's all. I I'm just living the portion of my life that's pre-billionaire, but I'm already a billionaire. It's like BC and AD. Right now, I'm just living in BC, but there will be a time,
BB.
yeah, before billions, and then there's gonna be AD or not AB, which is after billions. So we're in 2025 BB right now. All right, Bumbleclot. Ready to give the people the juice?
Yeah.
All right, we're live, so we're
Oh,
cooking.
you didn't tell me.
All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. The gentlemen are back. Apparently, the live stream didn't get scheduled for Thursday, so I'm sure some of you are caught off guard by this. You dropped your meal. You know, you stopped the meeting that you were in. You told your wife to kick rocks, and you went and you turned on the computer. You turned on the boob tube. And you tuned into the Ultimate Market Professionals, which is intelligent because that means you're going to make a lot of money.
Should be a big stream. I mean, we're pumping again, so everyone
Yeah, they
wants
should
to
all be
come back.
back, right?
We're back.
It was incredible. Elon changed his profile picture on Twitter to Kekius Maximus.
Holy shit. We're really pumping.
We're pumping. Oh, shit, boys, we're pumping.
Yeah. ETH just pulled back just a little bit, but it almost tapped 3,500 again. If we look on TradingView, it might have to 3,470 right now, up over 4%.
Brett up
Bitcoin.
18%, Pepe 7%, Andy 13%.
Bitcoin's back over 97.
Wow.
Radfi's back on the buttons.
The Five Bros, the Trap Five Bros. You see, that's what happens. Everybody panic sold, and then you have Bogdanov or Bogdanov, whatever the hell his name is, on the phone. He sold. Bump it.
Bump it.
That's what's happening. You guys sold. You capitulated. You didn't talk to me. Everybody blocked my number over the last 2 weeks. I didn't hear from anybody, not a peep. And then all of a sudden, Pepe gets a 20%, 25% meat stick because Elon Musk. Did you see Pepe? Did you see Pepe? Da, 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 da. It's classic. Gentlemen, you got to have the same excitement for this when things aren't going your way as to whenever things are going your way. Otherwise, you're just going to be like everybody else. So let's pull up a chart of Rovich here and see what we got cooking. So ETH Skaroo 3468. All right, let's start with a little beat. Let's actually not spend that much time on BTC and ETH because we did last stream. Let's talk about the Boys Club narrative again. But while I pull this up, give the people some juice, bees. What are you seeing in the markets? What's going on?
I was looking at MSTR this morning. Let me pull it up again.
Oh yeah, it's
Micro strat.
it's dumping a bit. Bombaclat. Am I on shit, dude? Hold on a second.
And it's pulled back from $550 all the way to sub 300. So there's about a 40 some percent pullback on MSTR. Um, I think, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think Bitcoin's going to have a tough time gaining dominance again and really pumping hard if MSTR continues to bleed like this. It's been kind of front running Bitcoin the entire cycle so far. So I think without the support of MSTR, Bitcoin's gonna struggle to regain dominance. But I think for the point where we're at in the cycle, it's time for Ethereum to start gaining dominance, really start outperforming Ethereum. ETH BTC chart to start bottoming out and start heading the other direction. Which, for anyone that watches the stream, if they're invested similar to us, which I'm assuming they probably are, that's a good thing. So I don't know what you see here, but I don't know how much I see this chart coming back this cycle, or at least not in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
It got pretty ripped up. So
So that's interesting. So you think MSTR would dictate how Bitcoin does? So like you think of this.
good.
So I was saying, you think that if this keeps nuking, that Bitcoin is going to nuke too?
I think so. I mean, I don't think it's going to nuke. I don't know how much lower it's going to go here. I mean, it might just range here for a little bit and then pump up again before it, just starts bleeding for quite a while. But MSTR has been front running Bitcoin this entire cycle. It's been a really good determinant of how Bitcoin's going to perform.
Right.
And obviously, Michael Saylor's a pretty massive holder of Bitcoin now. um, and he also drives a lot of the hype and shit around Bitcoin. So, yeah, I mean, this has been front running Bitcoin all cycle. I mean, if this chart continues to bleed, Bitcoin's going to have a tough time, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is definitely recovering a little bit better already than MSTR is.
Right.
So yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe it just starts outperforming MicroStrategy and MSTR just kind of falls off. The hype falls off of it for this cycle, and
Right.
Bitcoin just can perform without it.
So yeah, it's interesting because MSTR, the idea of people investing into it is because it's going to be a levered Bitcoin. That's the way that Michael Saylor has pitched it and sold it to people. And that's basically how he makes his money, is that what he does is he sells the volatility on Bitcoin to people that come to him for to buy it, right? So how does MSTR make money? They don't necessarily make money from simply the purchasing of Bitcoin. What he does is he buys Bitcoin and then he sells the volatility of Bitcoin to other investors who don't have access to the Bitcoin market directly, because outside of the ETF, the Bitcoin ETFs that were approved, TradFi still can't technically have direct exposure to Bitcoin, right? So that's the way he's pitched it. Now, I don't think that MSTR would dictate how Bitcoin would perform moving forward. Like if MSTR did start breaking down even further and start shitting itself, I don't think that would pull Bitcoin down with it. But Bitcoin would pull it up if Bitcoin starts pumping again, which we think it will. Now, what you said about front running it, though, I'm pretty sure you might be right on that. So let me see. Because I know in the past it had front run Bitcoin. I'm just trying to see if we can get like a good view on a timeline, what that looks like.
Yeah, and I guess when I say front run, maybe outperforming is the better word. It's like whenever Bitcoin starts to move slightly, MSTR tends to outperform it. And by front running, it's like whenever MSTR is having, a 20 to 30% move off of a, 3 to 5% move on Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look back at the beginning of the year, like February, March time, or during that initial big pump on both of them, during that time, I think Bitcoin pulled a move from 40 to about 65,000,
Right.
where you saw MSTR pull a move from 45 to like 150. So it's like MSTR pulled a 4x, Bitcoin pulled about a 50% move.
Right.
So yeah, MSTR has been a good indicator this cycle. Whenever you really see it start to fly, you kind of know that Bitcoin's going to follow, just not as aggressively. But obviously now, I mean, we can see it pretty clearly today. Bitcoin is already recovering from the FOMC bleed a lot quicker than MSTR is.
Right.
So yeah, you're probably right. I think that it's just going to be a shift in what kind of indicators you can use to predict the movement on Bitcoin. Because I don't think MSTR for the rest of the cycle, based off of the chart right now, is going to be a very good indication of what Bitcoin's going to do.
Right. So this is interesting because I'm trying to line up the moves on Bitcoin to MSTR and see who's doing what. You're right in the sense it is levered. So MSTR is a levered Bitcoin. So it's 3x levered to the upside, but levered is also 3x to the downside. So as Bitcoin drew down 14, 15%, MSTR had a much larger bleed. So if we take a measured, I just want to mark this out too. So if we take a measured move on MSTR from its high, yeah, see, it's down fucking, it doesn't seem like that much, but it's down almost 50% compared to Bitcoin from that same point. I know from here. So MSTR actually did to the where it's at right now. Well, let's just do it to the low. Yeah, 12%. So yeah, it is a levered Bitcoin. So it makes sense why it moved like that. It also is levered to the upside. So let's just see what it looked like from like here. Fuck. Almost a 5x. Let's do it from here, right? Yeah, I mean that's a 2x basically. So so I mean, there you go. So it's like a 2.5, 3x levered Bitcoin. So it is behaving how it's supposed to be behaving. It's supposed to be behaving. So to the downside, it's much more pronounced. To the upside, it's more pronounced. So it is a levered Bitcoin. So I think it's just whatever Bitcoin does is going to be how MSTR performs moving forward. So if Bitcoin continues to go higher, MSTR I'm sure will go higher too. I've heard other people say it differently though too. So like I've also heard people say Bitcoin can continue to pump and go up and not even drag MSTR up with it, and they think MSTR just dies out, which also makes sense because if the Ponzi doesn't last, the Ponzi doesn't last. Just because Michael Saylor's Ponzi doesn't work out doesn't necessarily mean that the Bitcoin itself, that the underlying asset that he's using for value on his stock, doesn't necessarily mean that asset has to depreciate, right? So I think it should go up with Bitcoin again, because once everybody gets all fired up on Bitcoin again, I'm sure the fucking hype train around MSTR will probably come back and it'll get another leg higher too.
I think Saylor's going to continue to pull it off for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think he's probably got until the summertime, because once the summertime comes and he's fucked, I think, during the summer. I think he's got a couple of months left. And then he's fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to know what his exit strategy is if he has one. I mean, I'd hope to God for this much money on the line that he does, but who knows? He's a wild, wild man.
That's a great point. Yeah, because he, I don't know. I don't think he has an exit strategy. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's an intelligent guy, so I would hope he does, but yeah, who knows? But yeah, so this is interesting. So, I mean, based off of this chart, this is the 12-hour, so it's fairly, middle time frame to lower time frame. It looks like they're pretty correlated. So as Bitcoin's moving up, MSTR is moving up, and vice versa. So they're pretty pegged together.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see. I feel like Bitcoin's probably going to start outperforming MSTR, but who knows? I mean, MSTR got smacked, but so did everything that's levered. Bitcoin levered Ethereum. So
right. I actually agree as well. I do think Bitcoin will start to outperform MSTR, even though we literally just said that it's levered Bitcoin. So that wouldn't then, in the case, be true moving forward. But I do think moving forward it is going to get outperformed.
And I think too, the big thing is like the people who are invested directly in spot Bitcoin or have ETFs in Bitcoin, they're crypto investors. They're used to that kind of volatility. Where the people who are using MSTR to get exposure to Bitcoin, if they're legacy market investors historically, they're not used to being able to stomach a 50% pullback over the course of 2 weeks. Like for people who are invested in Bitcoin, 12%, 13% pullback, it's pretty normal. But I think that move, especially, towards the end of the year when people have the ability to take advantage of tax loss savings and everything else, I don't know how many of those investors are going to be wanting to come back or are going to be able to stomach that and still find that appealing to get into.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, no, it is nuts. They're not used to that 50% drawdown. That's a shit ton. So this is MSTR over Bitcoin. So as this chart goes lower, that means Bitcoin is outperforming MSTR. So if you see over here, this is 2016. So this is pretty far away. This is the last bull market. 17. Interesting. So it outperformed into 18 and 19. Came back down, popped back up. And then if we take a look at this, this looks similar to how the MSTR chart looks itself. This right here. So if I pull up below just the MSTR chart, it looks very similar. Oh, you rat. Let me see. Let's do. It looks similar. So if we think this is going to nuke, if we think MSTR over Bitcoin is going to nuke, then I would suspect that MSTR itself is going to nuke because it looks so similar, the chart. I mean, it's effectively the same chart.
Yeah.
So, and we do think Bitcoin is going to start to outperform MSTR. And I mean, truly, this doesn't look good. I mean, this looks heavy as fuck right here. I mean, you got this. I mean, you got a tiny bounce right here. So, like in this region right here. Yeah, I mean, if it breaks down any further than this, that's nuking down here. That's coming down back into here, this area, with all this price action. So, and if that happens, then we would expect the same thing to kind of like happen over here with MSTR.
Dangerous game.
Yeah, that doesn't look good to me. So I would certainly not be buying any more MSTR stock right now because that doesn't look good at all.
Or MSTR 2100.
Yeah, bruv. Yeah, I got cooked on that one a bit, but we'll see. Hey, zero or hero, I'm not selling. So
we're at a down December, so
yeah.
Dead December.
So yeah, so that's that on MSTR. So I don't think that's gonna have any problem on Bitcoin. But what I want to take a look at is now that we're getting into ETH season because we're finally in Q1 2025. Let's pull up some Ethereum. Okay. So we had drawn this out on the previous stream. See how this is playing, huh? You know, lower time frame. Yep. So here we go, right? So we're coming back up to the top of the range. If we can break out of this range, we'll see if we get that bull trap or not and pop back down into the range, right? Once it comes up out of here. Or we could bounce right off the top of the range and just fucking gig ascend. So we'll see what happens there. That seems to be playing out. So we expect it to come back up to the top side of the range, break out of the range. We might get this bull trap just to match this bear trap over here. We'll see. And then, but ultimately higher. So that's great. But what does that mean for our precious Boys Club meme coins that we are riding to Valhalla? Well, let's take a look at ETH memes here. Oh, this is my ETH Pepe chart. Let's open this up right here. You know why I have that, right, Bees? Yeah. All right, gentlemen.
A little gambling.
Yeah, well, you know. Oh, look at this. I gave you guys all the juice just right there. Get all that away from here. All right, so let's take a look at Pepe. So ever since Elon made that tweet, fantastic. Pepe's starting to move up again. Let's just show you where this thing's can potentially go. Because now that we take a look at previous cycles, and I'm not sure if you heard this point being made, but Dogecoin in 2021, at the beginning of 2021, it was at a $1 billion market cap. By May, it was at $90 billion market cap. Okay? That was 4 years ago. Pepe, at the beginning of January in 2025 for this cycle, is already at a $9+ billion market cap before we've entered the true alt season. Okay? The reason I mention that is because Pepe is 9 to 10 times bigger of an asset than what Dogecoin was right before it made its fucking absolutely absurd run to $90 billion market cap. So the point is the targets on Pepe can be and probably should be raised from, could it do the same thing as Doge? Yeah, well, absolutely, but I think it can do a lot more than Doge. So if it's 9 times of a larger asset right now than it was in Doge back in 2021, don't you think it could probably 2x, 3x Doge's previous all-time high? 140 billion market cap, 150 billion dollar market cap, which is at this point is still a 14 to 15x, which sounds ridiculous, but that's the type of shit that's going to happen during a bull run. When you're in a true bull run, even the biggest bulls aren't going to be able to guess how high we can possibly go on these meme coins. And it's not to be, the moon boy and say, oh, this shit's going to go to fucking $300 billion market cap. But I think it's going to go a lot higher than what people expected. So I'm curious to hear your opinion on that. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just kind of an outdated number. That $90 billion market cap's kind of been the glass ceiling for meme coin evaluations since 2021. But like everyone keeps saying, $90 billion market cap now isn't the same as it was in 2021.
Right.
There's been so much money printed. COVID just kind of fucked the whole US dollar and like the way that our economy functions and how much money we create. So everything's inflated so much over the last 3 years. A $90 billion valuation is not what it used to be. Obviously, there's been a lot more adaptation of crypto over the past 4 years. We have a pro crypto president coming into office for the first time ever. All the regulations are getting, way lessened. It's going to be a lot easier for people to get in, for corporations to invest in it. A lot more people just know about crypto and have a more positive sentiment around it than they used to. I was talking to my dad about this over the holiday when I was home for Christmas, and he was saying that all of his friends that are around his age, in their 50s, whenever he brings up crypto to them, a lot of them still think it's a scam. Like a lot of them just still think it's complete gambling. They don't understand it. And
Bullish.
the more he talks to them about it, they realize, oh shit, I didn't realize this was a $4 trillion market class. It's like they don't realize how big of a deal it is. So there's still so many people that don't understand it that are going to have family and friends and coworkers and people in their community, whatever, that as the bull run starts to pick up here and they start to see it more and more on social media, they're hearing their friends and family making money from it. The adaptation is going to be massive. And then especially too, once Trump's actually inaugurated and he's talking about crypto publicly in spaces where that generation is going to hear about it. Yeah, I think that, the glass ceiling that was put in place 3 years ago can definitely get shattered. Right. And I don't know what better coin there would be to do it than Pepe.
Exactly.
I think it's kind of the chosen play of the cycle. I think all the boys club members are going to perform really well. It's just going to take a shitload more money to get Pepe to move. But yeah, I think it's definitely, especially with Elon potentially backing it, he's made it his profile picture. A lot of people are noticing that. He was the one that drove Doge to 90 billion last cycle. So
exactly.
Yeah, if anything's going to break that glass ceiling, I think that Dogecoin definitely has the potential to break it this cycle as well. It's just the big difference is if Dogecoin hits 140 billion from where it's at right now, you're going to look at like a 250% move versus Pepe, you're going to do 13 to 1400%. You just have to kind of decide what you want to do. And for me, that's a pretty easy decision.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a no brainer. The only reason you would choose, at this point, Pepe is a no brainer too, because it's such a large asset. It's not like you can't size in fucking 50 mil into Pepe. Well, maybe 50 mil is a little bit, probably, you could size in 20, you could size in 10 mil into Pepe quite easily and be happy with that. Because it's super liquid. So I'm just taking a look here at Pepe just to give people an idea what this can look like, because this is going to get outrageous. People don't understand that you don't realize it until it happens, right? So this is the market cap chart on Pepe, and the reason we're going to look at market cap is so we can get an idea of what kind of X's we can do on Pepe here coming in the next 3 to 4 months. So right now it's sitting at 8.65 billion. All right, so if it goes to 100, it's over a 10x. So let's just say 100 billion. What are our targets here? So this is log fibs. Let's just pull this range and see what kind of confluence we have with Pepe, because I genuinely believe this is going to happen. I really do. I've heard smaller targets before on Pepe that I just didn't necessarily thought made sense, and even those individuals are starting to change their targets because I think it's just pretty clear that it's just such a larger asset than what Doge was at the same time in the cycle from last cycle. So the confluence, I mean, the linears don't even go up that high. So, I mean, we can't even use linear. The log fibs, we got this 115 right here, which this to me seems way more realistic. I think this is super possible. So that's over a 10x, right? On just Pepe alone. And that's pulling it from the large range. So how about if we pull, let's get the linears off of here because the linear doesn't even do anything for us. It's just too small. Let's put a linear on this range right here. See what kind of confluence we get. See, it's still not even, it doesn't even go high enough. That's why I'm saying, like, it's.
Those are linear.
Yeah, that's all I wanted because I want to see if there's confluence, any kind of confluence. So right here, this is definitely a clear level. This 1.618. Let's try a log on that range then. So I'm just trying to get an idea of when we see a certain number hit on Pepe. Just call this what we can say is clearly. I should have just changed the fibs.
Yes.
So yeah, those fibs don't even go up high enough. That's the thing. That's what's so crazy about it. So, I mean, realistically, I'm looking at this 115. I like the 115 because in my mind, it just doesn't make sense that Pepe doesn't at least do what Doge did. It just doesn't make sense, which is why people should get so excited over the fact of what's possible with Brett, Andy, Wolf, because they're simply just levered Pepe. Pepe is levered ETH 3x. Brett is further levered ETH, so probably 4 or 5x. Andy is levered Pepe, so Pepe is already 3x ETH. Andy's probably 6x Pepe, and same thing with Wolf. And we can show data to show that the moves that Pepe takes, Andy, Wolf make bigger moves. So if you still have a 10x plus on Pepe, I just don't understand how you could be not fucking fully allocated to the boys club, or at least a large portion of your portfolio into the boys club, because they're just going to outperform the rest of the market at some point. Pepe is the clear winner for this cycle. So if it's the clear winner, then I would be more than willing to bet that the derivatives of Pepe are also going to outperform the rest of the market at some point. So instead of gambling and try to guess what the next winner is and try to find that next little diamond in the rough and just fucking Doge was a clear winner last cycle, and it won by far the biggest. And then the derivative of Doge, which was SHIB, another dog coin, was the next biggest winner. So if Pepe is the clear winner this cycle, if you got extra capital and you want to play in the trenches, you want to invest in some other shit on Solana, etc., be allocated to different things, that's fine. I get it. But I'm most certainly going to put the vast majority of my portfolio into the winners this cycle because those are the winners. And the winners always end up outperforming the most. That's why you have to be careful when you're looking for the derivative of the derivative of the derivative that's a $10 million market cap because you want to be able to get 1,000x, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you lose value at some point because they're just simply not going to get bid. At the end of the day, the winners are going to be the winners, and they're going to get bid the most. So there's a diminishing return even in the idea of going further and further down the risk curve. Because at some point, you just get to the point where there's just no demand for that asset, so it doesn't even make sense to buy it.
What's that little note say there underneath it says yesterday Pepe's rally hits a roadblock as Musk ...
Let's see. Let's take a let's look at the news, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Pepe's rally hits a roadblock as Musk effects diminishes. Popular meme coin experienced a 12% surge on Tuesday following a move on X. Yeah, when he changed the profile. Yep. However, this initial excitement has turned out to be short-lived as the hype surrounding Musk's actions begins to subside. Pepe's already started to shed some of its recent gains. Short-lived rally. It's not thanks to Elon. Okay, cool. Whatever.
These people love to talk.
Yeah, they love talking shit and a bunch of charts. That's cool. All right. Kick rocks. And it was because he changed his profile picture back. He had to, because the shit with the Cybertruck blew up in front of Trump Tower. So he probably was trying to, be professional again, change his profile picture back, etc., and started dealing with the whole fucking truck thing. As soon as he changed his profile picture, that Kekius Maximus meme coin fucking nuked 70%, which one of the guys inside of our private chat, the private crypto plays inside the school community, he hit fucking big on Kekius Maximus. He fucking cranked on it and took out profits, a bunch of profit before it tanked, which thank God.
It's the move with those coins.
Yeah.
Shifts quick.
All right. So, anyways, it's just interesting to look at those fibs. But I like this 115. That would be my big target. Like, I'm leaving a moon bag or a decent size in my bag up into this region, and then if we do hit this, then I'm certainly like 90% cheating everything and just leaving something tiny to run if it keeps running, which would be cool. But that would be my target on Pepe. I like that 115. So that's market cap on there. Let's take a look at Brett. Brett's, of course, getting a bit of a pump ski again. All right, let's get these drawings out of here. What do you think of Brett, Harry? Because Brett got a fucking beat down, but now it's been pumping pretty nicely off the lows.
Yeah, I mean, it got smacked probably hardest out of any of the boys club members. As far as the bleed from the top, I mean, it bled. I know it's come back a little bit today, which is good. I think at the lows, it was down over 50%. I think it got all the way down to about 10 cents. It wicked down there. 10 or 11 cents down from, over 22 cents, 23 cents. So yeah, I mean, it had over a 50% bleed. But I mean, we've been saying from the beginning that we do think Brett is probably going to be a later in the cycle play. Once people are starting to experience the gas fees on Ethereum, once there's a shitload of volume on the network and people are having to pay $300, $400, $500, $600 to execute a transaction.
Right.
Brett's gonna get a lot of attention. People are gonna realize, oh, I can buy Andy $500 worth of Andy, and I'm gonna get $50 worth of it, of the actual asset after I pay for the gas fees. Or I could go to Brett and I can buy $500 worth. I'll get $495 after the, 1 cent gas fee and whatever exchange or network fee you're using. So yeah, I think that Brett's probably going to be a little bit of a lagger. But I also know that the base network, like Coinbase, they still have the Coinbase listing, obviously, in their back pocket. And like we talked about before, they're not just going to use a Coinbase and, tier 1 exchange listing just for the hell of it. Everything is very intentional, and it's done at a certain time that's going to be the most profitable for the major exchanges to do it. So if they feel like maybe the hype is falling off, the volume's starting to really slip, and they feel like they need to save the coin and save the chart, this coin hasn't even been listed yet. So, a few months ago, Brett was bleeding down to like 6-7 cents. It was up to almost 2 billion market cap, bled all the way back down to like 600 million, 700 million. And then it saved itself without a tier 1 listing, pumped all the way back up to like 2.2, 2.3 billion, 2.4 billion. So whenever these tier 1 exchanges are seeing that the chart's supporting itself and that Brett is maintaining, a top 10 meme coin position, the only one in the top 10 without a tier 1 listing, they're going to hold that in their back pocket and let this chart support itself for as long as it can. But I think the tier 1 listing, especially the Coinbase listing at this point, is inevitable. It's the face of the Coinbase network, or of the base network. It's the mascot for the network, largest coin on the base network by far. There's been smaller coins like Degen got listed on Coinbase, and it's a tenth of the size of Brett.
Yes. So
I think that listing, it's inevitable. I don't know when it's going to happen. They're going to do it when it makes the most sense for them to do it. But but yeah, I mean, once that happens, it's Valhalla.
Yeah, because like you said, they're not going to let the face of their network die. So Coinbase, if you're bullish on the company itself, which has done fantastic of building its brand in the crypto space and essentially becoming the biggest exchange in the U.S. Outside of Binance, it's like they're not going to not pump it. And so they know what the hell they're doing. They know when to list this shit. So, and the other thing with Coinbase too, the catalyst is the amount of people that they're looking and they've been saying that they're trying to onboard onto their chain. If they even hit, they said 1 billion. I believe it was 1 billion people they said they wanted to bring on chain, which is obviously outrageous. So it's not going to be 1 billion. I'll be the first to say that. There's no way. If they do, great. Prove me wrong. It's not going to be 1 billion. It's not going to be 500 million. But right now on base chain, there's probably sub 10 million people on there. I wonder if that's a statistic that we can look up, but
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
But I mean, if you look at the different chains, I mean, Base for the past 5-6 months straight has been onboarding more users monthly than any other chain by a lot. As far as percentage moves, I don't know about actual nominal values if it's adopting more, but percentage wise, it's onboarding way quicker than any other network. So people see the vision, people see the value, people like the low gas fees that exist on base chain. I mean, we were talking about it a couple streams ago. The base memes have been starting to get a lot more attention, like the ski mask dog or whatever was doing multiples. A lot of coins on the base network are getting more attention, not just the soul trenches. So, yeah, I mean, I think that the exposure is definitely continuing to go up. And I think that as Ethereum and Bitcoin and the majors start to perform really well here over the next month or two, especially Ethereum, and we start to really get a lot of hype around the bull market, I think Coinbase is going to capitalize on the hype around crypto in general, and they're going to really start to push the base chain network more. And as they do it, why would they not want to list the number one coin on their network? Like, they don't want to miss out on those fees. Like, they don't want to miss out on those exchanges. They don't want to miss out on that volume. It's going to happen. It's probably going to happen within the next month. I would say Brett is probably going to get listed. If not in January, I'd say definitely in February.
Right. And just even from where it's listed at right now, the price, it's in value, deep value. This is where you want to be accumulating a Brett. 4x just to that first bit of fib confluence at $4 billion market cap, 4x. Boom. There's a quick 4x. Bang, right there. Brett, as long as Pepe does what Pepe is expected to do, it certainly is going to probably play around in this territory on this log fib, about 13 billion. If Coinbase can do anything that they predict that they can do, and we get that massive rotation into base chain, then I could certainly see Brett going to a $44 billion market cap, which again sounds outrageous right now. I mean, that's quite literally a 44x from where it's at right now. Do you think it could do a 44x? It sounds fucking insane, but it's possible. If Pepe does a 15x from where it's at right now, Brett is a smaller asset. Brett is higher levered Ethereum. So what if you get 15x on Pepe? Maybe 40x is a little bit much. Maybe somewhere in here you get some movement in here, which is, this would be a 1.3, so that would be a 13x. Yeah, so you get like a 20x up in here, 25, 24, 25 billion.
Well, the base network wasn't around last cycle, correct?
No.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting because, I mean, I think that, yeah, the gas fees on Ethereum, I think, are going to play a bigger role than what people are expecting.
Right.
So I think there's going to be groundbreaking volume on the Ethereum network. I mean, the total market cap for crypto has already been hitting new all-time highs. You know, it was up over 4 billion a little bit earlier in like November, I believe, mid-November, end of November, it was around 4 billion. So it's like the total market cap for crypto is already hitting all-time highs before the bull run even gets going. So there's going to be more volume on Ethereum than ever before. Right. And with that being said, I think the gas fees are going to get insane. And last cycle, we didn't have the base network. So who knows? I mean, it could be a cycle of its own at the end of, you know, towards the end of 2025. Maybe after, you know, Ethereum takes over market dominance, starts to outperform Bitcoin, all the coins on Ethereum pump, and then who knows, maybe this cycle, because the base chain exists, if it gets a ton of traction and onboards a lot of people like they're expecting, maybe at the end of the year, once Ethereum starts to cool off, then it'll be the base network season. And then historically moving forward, maybe that's a thing. Maybe there's a base pump following the Ethereum cool off. I mean, I don't know. I could definitely see it happening. And if that happens, then Brett's going to lead it for sure.
Absolutely. Because that's where all the whales are going to go to. And think about people who have, multi millions of dollars at this point because they made all that money on Pepe, these other large assets. Like you said, to avoid the fees, they can go find a safe haven on base chain. Well, if they have a lot of liquidity, what asset are they going to be forced to twop into? Well, Brett, because it's going to have the most liquidity. It's going to be the largest asset on base chain. So that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go to Brett. They're not going to go into something that's illiquid where they just pump the price on themselves. No, it's going to Brett. Like that is the advantage that larger assets do have compared to the smaller ones. Which Brett still relatively is a smaller not smaller meme coin, a smaller asset in the grand scheme of things compared to the XRPs and the Ethereums and Bitcoins, etc., that are multi-$100 billion market caps. Brett's only 1 billion. It's actually what Doge was at this time last cycle. So if Doge goes from 1 bill to 95 bill, who knows what Brett could do? But the point being is, Brett has the advantage of it has more liquidity. So these guys with multi-million-dollar portfolios aren't going to twop into a fucking ski mask dog or a fucking degen that's 100 mil, 200 mil, right? They're going to twop into Brett because there's actually some liquidity there. They're not going to destroy themselves by twopping into this asset. So that's the advantage you have with Brett. Brett, I'm so bullish on. I know that Coinbase is going to fucking pump their chain, pump their users up. All their users are going to do what? They're going to buy Brett. They're going to buy Brett. They're going to buy Brett, especially because it's attached to the Boys Club narrative. It's like the best of both worlds. You have the Coinbase catalyst and the base chain catalyst. So it's going to be the winner on base chain. And you have the Pepe catalyst, which is the winner of the whole meme coin space this cycle. So how could you be bearish on a Brett? Right? You might not like the meme. You might not think it's the best character, etc. It doesn't matter. It's a fucking bullshit. Who cares what it did? I don't care what fucking picture's there for it. I just care about what it does and how it trades. So Brett will pump. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. But that rotation into base chain will happen. People aren't stupid. People want to save money. Gas fees are going to be absolutely outrageous, multi-hundreds of dollars just to do one transaction on Ethereum. People don't understand that. People aren't prepared for that. On base chain, it'll be cents. So hundreds of dollars per transaction, 1 cent. It's like, all right, people are going to make the rotation into base. So I like 25 bill for Brett. I like that area for Brett. If Pepe hits around 100, I certainly believe. I mean, 25 billion at that point would probably be a little light because it's going to trade at what? No, that seems about right. Yeah, compared to where it's at now. Yeah, that seems about right. Let's take a look at Andy real quick. We'll leave off here. Andy is also primed for a fucking ripper. Okay, Andy is ready to fucking rip. This right here, gentlemen, is where we were telling the guys inside the private chat to buy. Now, of course, if you weren't in the private chat, you wouldn't have known that this was the buy zone. And look at that. Played out perfectly. This weekend, in the beginning of this week, I was buying. Other guys inside the organization were buying because this is where Andy was going to get this bounce. It was in deep value. Andy is set up for a ripper. It still has not even broken out of its massive reaccumulation range. So this is beginning of June. These fibs are, make sure they're in log. First fib on Andy, 132. 378, which is the high. So yeah, this is 1.3 billion. So the next move on Andy, next big move, will be right around in the 1 billion mark. So that's a almost
6x.
Yeah, 6x banger play. And then let's do some fibs on Andy on linear just to see where a local top might be. Let me get you out here. Come on. I hate how it just doesn't catch that.
Gotta rein it in.
Bottom wick. Fuck it. Whatever. Close enough. Let me just get one of these. Turn the log based off. So in terms of local tops, yeah, this was the one that we were looking at. So local move, go to about 570 mil market cap. Might pause for a moment, then boom, look at all this confluence right up in here. All that confluence. You're telling me it's not going to fucking hit this range right here? No, it's going to fucking smack through 1 bill, go up into this range. There's literally 3 fibs right smack dab on 1.2 to 1.4 billion. So that will be the next top on Andy. And then if Pepe, once again, does what Pepe could potentially do, then you're certainly looking at this fib playing. Pepe goes to 100 bill plus, Andy most certainly is going to hit and bump through this $10 billion mark. So if Andy does 10 bill, what is that?
50x.
50x. Yeah, you like a little 50x on your head? A little 1,000 into 50 racks. That's it, gentlemen. That's what I'm saying. It's not to be... I mean, we're not even giving you moon boy targets. There are guys who will tell you shit about Brett, like Brett's going to 50 to 100 billion. Murad posts screenshots of like SPX 6900 at $200 billion market cap, etc. Okay. That's fucking moon boy targets. This isn't moon boy. This is real deal. This is fibs. This is confluence. This is shit that's actually going to play out more than likely. So like all this confluence around $1 billion market cap, there's your little 6 to 8x right there. Bang. Right? This is why you got to load up in these conviction plays and know that you're going to literally walk right into a 6, 8, 10x, 15x, make your money, actually profit, actually cash out this cycle without watching all your gains go to zero, actually make some money, and then you go from there. Then, hey, you don't get too greedy, but if it happens and we get the cycle that we believe we're going to get and you really go into a huge bull run like we did the last 2 cycles, then yeah, you're literally going to pull a 50x on Andy. You're literally going to crack off for 10 billion. Those are real numbers. This is the data's here. This is a fucking, 6 to 8 month reaccumulation range. This is real data. This is a real range here. These are good fibs. So again, this is why I've been chanting to everybody inside of the private chat and people that speak to me individually, buy Andy, buy Andy, buy Andy, buy Andy. Andy right here was at a premier buying zone. Premier. So if you bought this right here and you buy in here, this is going to age very well once it's up at 10 billion or 1 billion. Okay. So those are just a couple of numbers to look at for the gentleman this week. Anything else you got, Bees, before we got to wrap up?
No. I mean, it's good to see TradFi back on the buttons. It's a good start to the year. So, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Ready to see nothing but green for a couple weeks at least.
We're gonna pump, gentlemen, and don't get too up, down. Don't get afraid of the next pullback, etc. Again, we come here to show you the data, understand what the thesis is, and understand why we're doing what we're doing, so that you don't freak out over it. I was talking to Logan off stream, and I was telling him it's funny because it literally just doesn't matter what the price is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect me at all because I'm not going to sell anyways. So if you've already made the decision that you're not going to sell anyways, then there's literally no reason to worry about the price. Like if you believe in the thesis and you guys understand where we're going these next 4 to 6 months, there's no reason to care about local price action, right? Believe in something, get rich or die trying. Hey, if you fail, we all go broke. Fuck it, way she goes. But don't worry about that. It's not going to happen. But the point is get rich or die trying. Fucking believe in something, understand what we're doing, and then don't let the local price action get you to cheat. This right here, show you one more time. This is literally where we were buying all weekend and the beginning of this week, right in here. And then look at this. And what's going to happen later this month? You're going to see Andy do this. Ba-doom. Then you might see a range a little bit. Boom. Then first breakout. Boom. It's going to fucking pump. Up to 1 bill. So there you go, gentlemen. All right. Guys, can you check out the meme coin grok for me? Can you let me know your thoughts? Thanks. It's probably a shill. All right. Cool. All right, gentlemen. Well, let's get out of here. Let's go do our thing, Bees. We got a meeting here in a little bit.
You gonna plug?
Oh, yeah. If you're not, I just assumed that they would be smart enough to do it. If you're not already in the Taylor's Code, the link is in the description. It's a private network organization where the gentlemen are essentially building a network of individuals who not only want to get rich, but improve their lives in all facets. And the richer that everybody else becomes within the community, within the organization, the better it is for everybody. So get inside, learn how to make money in crypto, e-commerce, sales, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever you want to pursue for an income, get inside of the Taylor's Code. And once you're inside, reach out to us, start to make money with us, and then you can start to invest into these markets. If you want to go directly into crypto, and crypto is primarily what you're interested in, join the school community. And within the classroom, in the school community, there's going to be a course called Private Crypto Plays. You're going to click on it. You're going to join it. And then you're going to send me your WhatsApp number. Then I'm going to add you to the most private, exclusive, fantastic, money-making WhatsApp group of all time. All right? I'll get you in there. You're going to get live positional updates. You're going to understand exactly when we're buying, exactly when we're selling and taking profits. We're going to tell you when we're accumulating new assets that we don't talk about live on YouTube, live on stream, so that you can be a part of the premier entry taking that we're doing on a fundamental level when we're watching these charts. Okay? So if you want to make money and compound the money that you have already and actually escape the life that you're living right now, escape your career, escape the job that you hate, not wait till you're 60, 65 years old to retire, then I encourage you to take that $25 that you would spend at McDonald's anyways, join an organization with 400 like-minded people, and actually start to make more money. Because I guarantee you that $25 you spend at McDonald's isn't going to do shit for your life except for ruin it and make you sicker and unhealthy. But if you take that $25 a month and you put it into something that's going to grow your income, then you can spend $100 at a fucking steakhouse eating the best food in the world as opposed to spend $25 at McDonald's. Stop there.
Like the video.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. If you can't afford the 25 right now, which I know you can. But if
Boost the algo.
Yeah. But if you'd like to grift off of us and get that free content, then subscribe, like, and comment. And outside of that, let's do a little Mr. Producer for him. Mr. Producer. Stream ending.
Good night.
Look, Naeem said, boom.